Okay, welcome back. I was just taking a look at this email that I received from Take Profit Trader. Congratulations! Based on your recent trading performance and evaluation through the TPT score system, you have been selected to begin the Live Market Pro Plus account creation process. These accounts come with end-of-day drawdown and a 90% profit split. That is amazing news. I'm so happy. I can't wait to get started in that live account. Let me show you the strategy that I used to pass the Eval account, to pass the Pro account, and to be moved into this Live Market Pro Plus account. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. All right, so for those of you who have seen my videos or watched any videos on my channel, you know that I use an indicator called L. Okay, L is a custom indicator that I created, and the main job of L is to keep you on the right side of the market. Okay, now before we get into L and before we get into the strategy, I just want to show you a few of the tools that I use. And mainly it's this. So here we are on the hourly chart. I'm just going to turn on my session divider. Okay, so this session divider, all it does is it breaks down each day into a session. So when I'm looking at my chart, I'm not just looking at some candles on a chart. Okay, I'm looking at something that I can focus in on, which are these sessions. So if I'm trading a specific session, I know that I'm just sort of focusing in on this day here. I know that this was the previous day. You know, I can look back and say, okay, these were previous days here. All right, so I use this on the hourly chart, and then when I hop over to the 1 minute chart, I also use the session indicator, and you can see that it's broken down into sessions as well. And then within the session, I'll try to narrow my focus even more by turning on the hourly indicator. So each one of these purple columns represent an hourly block of trading. Okay, so if I jump back over to the hourly, right, and I'll just turn on my indicator. Okay, the purpose of L is to keep you on the right side of the market. When you see a containment zone, it indicates to you that a decision needs to be made. You're at a point in the market where the market is telling you, hey, we're going to make a decision here. We're either going to continue or we're going to reverse. Okay, we can see here that we had a containment zone in a push up here that continued to go up. And then we had a containment zone here that we can see price clearly reversed and went down. Here's another containment zone where price reversed and continued up. What strategy did I use to pass my different phases at Take Profit Trader? Well, there are different strategies that you can use with containment zones. If I turn on breakout gaps, right, what you'll see is you'll see green boxes, red boxes pop up. Now, breakout gaps, they occur when a candle breaks out of a zone and it leaves behind a gap. So you can see that this candle broke out of this containment zone with a gap, and we can use that gap as support to move higher, as we did here. Okay, and you can see that this candle here broke out of this containment zone with a bearish gap, right? We moved lower from there, came back to test it, closed over it, and we'll get back into how we can trade this area as well. But I just want to show you a few more examples. We can see here that there was a containment zone that gave us a bearish breakout. We retested the breakout, and then we moved lower from there. Okay, and if we just look back a little further, you can see that here we had a breakout gap where we retested the gap and we move higher. We move higher into a bearish breakout gap. The only gaps that you're going to see on the chart are gaps that come from breakouts. Okay, now fair value gaps exist all throughout the chart. There's one here, right? But we didn't draw that one simply because it didn't come from a breakout. Now, if we take a quick look at this breakout gap here, you can see that we broke out, we received a bearish breakout gap, we retested the gap, and then we closed over it. So if you open up the indicator, you show inverted gaps, what you can see here is that if we close over a gap, that gap will be inverted, and then we can look to use that gap as support here. Okay, now the indicator is going to stop the gap when we've closed below it. So technically, if we zoom in here, you can see that we've closed below this gap, right? So once that happens, we can turn on the final option, which is a confirmed level. So we've moved from breakout gaps to inverted gaps to confirmed levels. All right, and you can see now that we're using this zone as a confirmed level. It's no longer a bearish breakout. It's no longer a inverted gap. It's a confirmed level, which simply means that we've found a level in price where it's using this zone here as a level. Okay, and we simply, if we're below it, we trade below it. If we're above it, we trade above it. But let me show you specifically the strategy that I used at Take Profit Trader. So we're just going to turn off all of these, okay? And we'll turn on Show Overlap Gap Secret Level. Okay, great. So now this gives you an entirely different gap, okay? These gaps come directly from our containment zones, okay? Now if I turn off the candles, you can see now just we have the containment zones and the secret levels. And you can see that these secret levels, they extend from the portion of the containment zones that overlap. So here's an overlapping gap there. You can see that here's an overlapping gap, there's a secret level. Here's an overlapping gap where we have a secret level. So we can look back on our chart and see that every secret level, doesn't matter how big or how small, here we have a tiny one here. That's because here was an overlapping gap and it gave us that secret level. If we turn on our candles, we can analyze how price reacts or interacts with a secret level. So the core concept is if we have closed below a secret level, then we're bearish below it. Or if we have closed above a secret level, then we are bullish above it. Okay, so if we look at this containment zone, we can see that when it was created, it was here at 6 o'clock a.m. on July 9th. We closed below the zone, so we're bearish below it, right? But then this candle here closed above the zone, so that switched our bias. So now I'm bullish above this zone. So as we trade below here, you can see that this candle traded below the zone. I'm looking for reasons to be bullish, right? So we'll just mark out that candle there. And as this candle traded below the zone, I'm looking for reasons to be bullish. Okay, now why am I bullish when the candle's trading below the zone? Because in order for us to switch our bias, the secret level must be flipped. And the only way it's flipped is when a candle closes the opposite side. So if one of these two candles had closed below here, then we would have flipped our bias. But simply because it traded below the level doesn't mean it has flipped. It actually means that these are the best opportunities for us to look for trade entries. When price trades below or above a secret level, right? Why is that the best opportunity to look for a trade? Because it only gives us two options. This candle is either going to close below the secret level or it's going to close above the secret level. And if my bias is bullish, as we trade below, only two things are going to happen, right? And so I'll show you on the lower time frame that we don't guess an entry. We look for specific things to occur on the lower time frame that we can enter here and take us right back above. Okay, but before we do that, let's just look at some other examples here in the hourly. You see we have a secret level. We are trading below that secret level here. We traded back down into the secret level where we're using it as support. Here would have been another opportunity to enter a trade. Actually, these are all opportunities here, you know, when they interact with the secret level. My preference is to wait for a candle to close below because that leaves me with two options, right? So price, this level holds, we trade back above it. We have another secret level that's created, right? We trade below that secret level where we ended up closing back above it, right? So we moved higher. We moved higher into this secret level, which we could have taken a short trade. Here, another short trade. Here we can see that price is trading above our secret level, so we would have been looking for short trade entries. Here we can see that price was holding above this secret level, right? Until we closed below it here. And you can see that price closed below the secret level here. So as this candle traded above, our bias is now bearish. We could have been looking for a bearish trade in this hourly candle. This candle closed bullish, which flipped our bias, and now we're back bearish below the level. Okay, we traded down into this secret level where we could have taken an entry, and then we flipped this secret level here, right? We flipped this secret level where once we flipped it, the next candle traded back into it where we would have been looking for a short trade to go lower. And as you can see here, we came back to test the secret level and then drop lower. I wait for these secret levels, these containment zones, to be created, a secret level, and I see how we're interacting with the secret level. Now, I've written a support indicator to help me identify the secret levels and how to trade them, just as a reminder, and it's called manual secret levels. So let me turn that on and show you how it works. So if we take this containment zone here, and we see that it was created at 6 a.m. on July 9th, okay? So if I take a fib and I find the overlapping gap, okay, so that's the overlapping gap. Here's the top price, that's the low price. So if I turn on my indicator, right, and let's see, 6 a.m. July 9th, so we'll just go to July 9th at 6 a.m., okay, and we'll just type in these prices, 7544, and then we got 753575, 753575. Boom. So now this indicator, if I toggle it on and off, you can see that it exists right where our secret level was created. But now this is giving us more information that's going to be useful to us. It actually plots out the bias. So you can see here that we were bearish below the secret level because this candle closed below it. Now this candle here closed above the top of the secret level, which switched our bias. It gave us a blue dot. So this is an alert as well. So if you set up alerts, you can be alerted each time this event occurs. So our strategy says that once we cross above or below a secret level, we're expecting the following candle to close on that side of the level. So you can see here that this candle closed on this side of the level. We received a green check mark. Okay. If we go up here and take a look at this secret level here, we'll do the same thing. All right, we'll just find the overlapping gap. We'll come into our secret levels. This containment zone was created at 8 p.m. on July 12th. So we'll go to enable, 8 p.m. July 12th. And we'll type in these prices. Okay, 7615.50 and 7612. And there's our manual secret level. Okay, so as we traded below to this level, we've already looked at that. Now let's look and see what happens when we close over this secret level. You can see that this candle here closed above the secret level, which gave us an indicator right there, right? So we'll have an alert. And then we go to our chart and we say, okay, well, now we're expecting the following candle, which is this bearish candle here, to close above the secret level. And as you can see, it did, and we received a green check. So we would have been looking for a bullish entry when this candle traded below the level. You can see that we stayed above the level until this candle closed below it, which gave us a purple dot to indicate that a bearish candle has closed below your level. And this green check indicates that the following candle closed below that level as well. So you can see that L is telling us that, hey, now you're bullish above this level. And at this point, you're bearish below the level. Okay. Now here we have another secret level where we can type in our values. So if we go down to here, so this containment zone was created at noon on July 15th. Okay, so we go over to July 15th at noon, and we type in these prices. And let's enable it. And what you'll see is a secret level. Okay. So now we have 3 of them on our chart. So as you can see, that price is interacting with these levels. It's using them as support and resistance. So as price came down into the secret level, we stayed bullish above it until this candle closed bearish. This candle switched our bias. So now we are bearish below this level. Okay, so if we take a look at this candle, you can see that as it traded above this level, we would have been looking for a reason to get in bearish, because only one of 2 things can happen. It's either going to close above or it's going to close below. Here we closed above the level. This candle closed above the level as well. Here we closed below the level. This candle closed below the level as well. Now we move down to our previous secret level, right? Where we closed below it, received a purple dot. The following candle traded above, but closed below it, check mark. Okay. So That is the higher time frame breakdown of the strategy that I use to stay on the right side of the market and to find levels. So now I'm going to take you to the 1 minute chart, and I'm going to show you the structure and the method to enter a trade when you're in alignment with your higher time frame bias.